going out like a sucker, no way.
Many are unaware of the hard work and dedication Paly faculty members put in on a day-to-day basis. INfocus decided to investigate.
My name is Berkson. I'm one of the assistant principals. I arrive at school at about 7:45 every day, depending on how many lights I hit on in Embarcadero. Today I got a green light all the way through. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. When I first get to school, I usually give myself about 10 minutes to check emails that have come in since I left my house, and then I go outside from about 8 to 8:15 and make sure all is well on the Paly campus, and come back, eat my oatmeal, and get going on the day depending on what's going on. Check more email. I get about 100 emails a day. It's just a constant chiming. Kinda. There's a number of things I do at work. One is to work on the school budget. So that is an example of one of our accounts, and just make sure things aren't being overspent.
Overspent?
Right. Which I'm assuming they're including encumbrances.
Spent?
Yeah. B, make sure that money is being put in or taken out of the correct accounts. Just kind of keep an eye on making sure everything runs smoothly on the money side of the school.
We've been having temperature problems in the math building, either too hot or too cold, mostly too cold. So I was just checking in on them to see how their day was going, and their day was going great, but then I asked them about yesterday, and then I heard yesterday was not great, so we're back to the drawing board and see what we can do to make life comfortable for everyone here at Paly.
I could have a discipline issue, which here at Paly is we're in a pretty good place where I don't have kids coming in every 5 minutes for getting in trouble. I'm also the science liaison, so I work closely with Ms. Steingard and helping evaluate teachers. I'm also the visual performing arts liaison. I'm the district visual and performing arts liaison, so I do a lot of work through steering committee meetings. End of my day, which is around somewhere between 4:30 and 5:30, assuming I don't have a meeting somewhere. Check my last few emails here, because I'd like to leave here with no emails so I could deal with more when I get home. And it could be a number of things. I try to clear out my desk as much as possible so I can come in and not be overwhelmed the next day. And I leave, get on the road, and drive all the way to sunny San Mateo.
The young man holding the camera smells. We can smell him from here.
First thing I do in the morning, I have to go by country and direct traffic for all the parents come in and staff and the teachers, and make sure they're safe. After that, I actually get jobs from the main office, and we kind of deliver some call slips to students, and we go classroom by classroom and deliver it to the kids that they need to go to, whoever needs them. Or if they're in trouble, I'll take him to the office. I don't know why he's being pulled out of the class. Why they pull you out of the class? John? That's why. Also, I do my round. I make sure the locker rooms are locked during classes. They nobody go in and grab things that they don't belong to them. Make sure the bike rack is locked. And then I do my rounds to see if nobody from this school walked around in our school, and try to, keep it safe. This is my bread and butter. Without this, I'm nobody. My name comes up a lot, which I like, because time goes so fast when I get busy. After I have my burrito and my nice lunch, I'm just gonna go back to my duties, see if they call me on the radio. Ready? Mm-hmm. Let's go. Yeah, some awards. Yeah. There's gotta be awards. There's so many.
Love awards.
My favorite part of the job is when I get to know students. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own personality. So it's kind of nice to know students. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rena. I have the opportunity to work with great staff here. I love to work with kids. That's actually the main reason I love my job.
I pretty much always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I had a lot of jobs, like when I was in high school, I worked for the Y, working with kids and stuff, so I kind of always knew that I wanted to teach. I just didn't know what, so when I got to college I figured I really enjoyed biology, and then I went to UC Santa Cruz for marine biology, so kind of all went from there.
So what's a typical period in marine bio like?
Typical period, it kind of varies. I try to not do like notes every day. We do tend to do some notes here and there, but try to do as many activities as possible, so they're kind of either looking at data or looking at fish or looking at whatever they're trying to do and kind of doing something with it. I do like to show a lot of videos just so they can kind of see things in the ocean. Obviously I can't bring in some marine organism and have them look at it, except maybe an invertebrate or something, but sharks or fish or a seal or something, having clips of it showing it moving, doing what it does, are really helpful. So on top of teaching, I also assistant coach varsity basketball, boys basketball team. We do, practice every day. I don't go to every practice as an assistant. I'm kind of able to come in and out when I want to. I go to every game. Practice usually after school, a couple hours. So it's kind of just an added thing. I enjoy doing it. I mean, it's not something I get paid for or anything. So it's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah, what do you normally do during your prep?
It depends. Usually, there's a couple things. Usually I'm either preparing for class, preparing a lesson, preparing, notes, whatever I'm trying to do that day, or I'm trying to grade something.
teaching at Palo Alto High School. She attended San Jose State University in order to receive a master's in applied linguistics. Her love of music came from Mexico, where she fell in love with Latin rock. She translates her love of music into the classroom to help the students learn while having fun. We talked to Miss Garrison and some of her students to find out more about her typical day.
Preparo mis lecciones, califico mucho, tengo muchos exámenes o proyectos que calificar y paso el día la mayor de mi tiempo con mis estudiantes.
Every day we begin the class with a warm-up activity.
Vamos a escuchar, pero chicos quiero que lean también, okay?
Or we start lessons on grammar.
Play games if we have time at the end, and it's really fun because she helps us understand like our Spanish and our vocab.
Yo decidí enseñar el español porque siempre fue mi materia favorita cuando yo estaba en la preparatoria. Y como pasé muchos años estudiando y aprendiendo el español, quería hacer algo, quería tener una carrera donde pudiera hablar el español. Entonces por eso decidí. Y es muy divertido, aprender español es muy divertido. Entonces por eso.
And she's really good at explaining grammar clearly so that we can fully understand it, and then we do a lot of activities so that we can practice that grammar, and then we'll get homework that night for what we did in class, either grammar or vocabulary. We have a test for grammar at the end of the unit, and it's really good, and she's really helpful.
Yo creo que lo que más me gusta de enseñar aquí en Paly de los estudiantes es que ustedes son muy trabajadores, son muy inteligentes y siempre echan muchas ganas, y eso para mí es lo mejor.
Hey, Miss Friedland.
I love Paly. I came to Paly originally because it was actually the only place I applied, because I was positive that this was the place I wanted to be, and it had a really fantastic reputation. But what I found was that the collaboration in the math department is just unlike anything you will see anywhere else. I mean, it's really, literally top shelf. Everybody supports one another, and everyone's completely committed to the notion of the best possible math education for every student. And I really wanted to work with the best students in the country because I thought I had something to offer them. And so when I work here, that's what I get to do. I get to work with the best in the country, and I'm very proud of that. So in 1987, I was living in Fresno, California, and I turned on the TV, and a Giants game was on, and I didn't know it at the time, but my favorite player, Will Clark, came up and he hit a triple, and I thought this was seriously the coolest thing I'd ever seen, just watching him run around the bases. So then I started following the Giants religiously, and I listened to every game on the radio in 1988, and it kind of became my obsession. And so I always told myself when I graduated college I was going to move to the Bay Area and become a Giants season ticket holder, and I did. I became a season ticket holder their very last season at Candlestick, which was cool, and that was my first year teaching. And then I transferred that over to AT&T Park, and I've been a season ticket holder ever since. This year is challenging only because I have 2 periods of analysis and 2 periods of stat and algebra 1.2, so the grading takes a really long time, and honestly it kind of averages out to between 50 and 60 hours a week when you factor in the grading and the prep work. So it's definitely not an easy gig, but it's one that I really like, and I think it's going well. So I'm happy overall, I would say. I love all the kids, but I definitely, AP Stat is kind of my wheelhouse. I've been doing that think 10 out of my 13 years teaching, and it's just been a really amazing experience. You really get to know the kids. They do these projects that just blow you away, and I've had kids go on to major in stat or go on to stat and industry. You know, I've had students who are now working at Google and Apple and Microsoft, so, you know, when they come back to visit, it's really incredibly rewarding.
All my schooling as a student, from when I was very young, I tutored other students, and so even like in first grade, I remember I had a classmate named Andy, and he was dyslexic and he had a really hard time reading, and my teacher would always like send me out in the hallway to work with him. And it always felt really good when someone was struggling with not understanding information and I could explain it in a way that they're like, oh, that's not as hard as I thought it was. So I liked that feeling. And then I excelled in my English classes. I really like to read, I like to write, and so it seemed pretty much like a perfect job for me to continue like developing those skills and being able to help other people at the same time. Everything that happens within the classroom is the best part, and that's the part that doesn't even feel like work. So when you're actually presenting information or you're leading an activity and people are excited, the students are excited about what you're doing, that's the really fun part. The work all happens outside of class, like planning all your lessons and grading all your papers, and that it's kind of like sometimes it feels like the workday starts at 3:30 or 4 o'clock when the school day ends. So in the classroom is exciting because, you know, as a teacher you kind of work off your students' energy. So when students are excited to be learning and they like the activities you're doing, it's really, really rewarding and it's fun. And each day can be so different. Like I imagine a desk job, you know, would be very different where you kind of know what to expect and you don't really perform at all, right? So it's almost like being an actor or something where you have to kind of do your song and dance every day and you kind of tell from your students if it's working or not. I'm a competitive Latin ballroom dancer, so my day is very interesting. Like I was saying that the work kind of starts after school, but I don't have a lot of time to do that work because I go home and I have practice for 2 or 3 hours like every evening at my studio. Like I present myself one way in the classroom, right? You know, I'm very organized and very professional and reserved, right? And then one of my passions is dancing, and so it's really neat to be able to go into like a different mode, right? And you can express yourself in a different way, and it's neat, but it's time consuming. So sometimes it's hard, like so I'm, you know, worked out all afternoon and then now I have to go home and grade papers or whatever. So it's a good time for me in my life to pursue a passion like that. Like I'm not married and I don't have kids, so it's like a good time to focus on myself. So it's exciting for now to spend the time and money to do that.
So, things I do in the morning. I pretty much get up 5:30. I take the dog out for a run in the morning. Come back, eat breakfast, get my stuff ready for work, out the door about 6:30. Get to school about 6:45. I bike to school pretty much every day of the week. You know, not often do I drive. I think it's, you know, a lot quicker biking. So I teach 0 period, so that class starts at 7, and then I get 0 period going. And this time of year, especially during the spring, I have a very small class due to all the preps and stuff. So I use that time as a time to also work out and help the kids work out and get a workout in myself in the morning sometimes. So it helps me keep my regimen going as far as the workouts. So I do that for about 45 minutes, an hour every day that I have class.
Before I got into teaching, I was a personal trainer. But when I got here, it seems like a lot of kids needed a little help on, you know, just workouts and how to work out and just all the basic stuff that I try to touch on so the kids get an understanding of weightlifting and how to develop your body in a way that it isn't hard on the body. Just trying to teach the kids the ins and outs of the weight room and how to lift, and understanding what one person can do may not be what another person can do. So just kind of understanding your own body in the whole grand scheme of things.
So my day for the work day, as far as teaching goes till 3:25. So it's 5 periods on Wednesday, and then I segue that into practice, which starts at 3:45, and usually goes to about 6:15 on a later day that we start practice.
It's about, today is February 28th. It's about 5:20.
Hey, that's my birthday.
Okay, John Ali's birthday. But it's, we're wrapping up practice now. It's been another 12-hour day. We come back tomorrow morning and do it all over again.
Paly is not just one story, but a combination of many, and InFocus showed just a few of those today. For InFocus, I'm Simone Buteau.